All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the May 27th regular council meeting for the Village of Lytton. I'd like to take a moment to remind everyone to please turn off your videos, mute your microphones, and allow council to begin the proceedings. Just to let you know, we are all being recorded and broadcasted on the Village of Lytton YouTube channel. If anyone is looking for a video recording of this meeting or a past meeting, you can go to the Village YouTube channel and watch it there. Thank you, Your Worship. You may call the meeting to order.
Thank you. I call this regular council meeting, May 27th, to order at 7 p.m. I want to recognize that we're holding this meeting on the unceded ancestral traditional territory of the Entlacat Nation. And in accordance with our council procedure bylaw, Kathy Walters is here in the capacity of Deputy Corporate Officer. Also joining us at the table here is Councillor McCann, Councillor Toss, Brian Baxter, and myself, Mayor O'Connor. Online this evening, we have Councillor Lightfoot and Councillor Michelle. Okay, so we do have a late item to add to the agenda, and that is a report from CAO Umbercat regarding engineering design services and a request for qualifications. So we will add that to new other business, I think it's called, section. And so can I please have a motion to adopt the agenda as amended? So moved. Thank you, Councillor McCann. Seconder Toss. All those in favor? And carried. Great. All right, we move on to adoption of minutes, and we had a regular council meeting on May the 13th. So we would like, we need a motion to adopt those minutes.
So moved, Toss.
Thank you. And a seconder, Councillor Lightfoot. All those in favor? Sorry, were there any errors or omissions? I should have asked. No, all those in favor? Carried. We also had, we have the minutes of a special council meeting that we held on May the 21st. We need a motion to adopt those minutes.
So moved, Toss.
Thank you, Councillor Toss. And second, Councillor McCann. Any errors or omissions to those? All those in favor?
Aye.
Carried. Moving right along, we have, we're on to item number 6, which is public comment, and I'll turn it back over to our corporate officer, Elisa Storoshenko.
Thank you, Mayor O'Connor. So members of the public are now invited to comment on matters related to the agenda. If you would like to speak, please use the raise hand function on Zoom. You can find that by clicking react at the bottom of your screen and then click raise hand. When it's your turn, I'll read your name. You'll be asked to unmute yourself. You'll have 2 minutes to speak. Speakers are asked to please state and spell your name, say your address, and the agenda item that they are speaking to. If anyone would like to speak, please use the raise hand function now. I don't see anybody, so I'll call for a second time. If anyone wishes to speak, please use the raise hand function now. I'm not seeing anyone online. Your Worship, is there anyone at Parish Hall?
Yeah, would you like to speak this evening? No, we don't have anybody here that would like to speak. It's not that we don't have anybody here.
So that concludes the public portion of the meeting. So back to you, Your Worship.
Thank you very much. We'll move right on to reports and CAO Umbercat. You'll be up first with a capital projects update.
Thank you, Mayor O'Connor. Good evening, everyone. This is the first item is our standing monthly capital projects update. And even since I wrote this last week, some things have progressed and have changed. So I'm just going to run through the activities just for everybody's benefit of the latest information. So with respect to the community hub, we have completed our interviews on the cultural advisor position, and we're expecting to be making a decision and a recommendation on that soon. We did do an RFP for the architects that has closed. We have a report a little bit later on the agenda tonight that we're recommending that staff proceed with meeting with these top 3 proponents from that process. Council had resolved at the last meeting to proceed with the pool component of the hub. So we're working to hire a pool consultant who will then assist council in understanding some of the decisions to be made prior to issuing an RFP for the design of the pool. So the next steps that we have underway are to finish our architect selection process, have a report from the pool consultant, which will then be able to incorporate into the RFP process. And we continue to do requirements gathering and meet with community groups, and then completion of the cultural advisor hiring process. So on the fire hall, the application has been submitted. We submitted all of our information to the staff of GICB. They have now forwarded our submission on to the higher ups who make the decisions on these programs. So at this time, there's nothing more to do on the fire hall until we receive a decision whether or not our application was approved. And then we will continue with the ongoing consultation in the community and with First Nation partners. The village office at 380 Main Street, our architect, Shauna Noyes, has been working on the construction drawings. We just received back today, actually, a list of questions from the consultants group that she works with, so the engineers and whatnot. So we have a little bit of work to do to get back some information to them, but that's underway. The archaeology assessment has been started, but until we know exactly what the ground disturbance looks like, we can't complete a work plan for that. But we will, and then we will move on with issuing an RFP for a construction company. On the Public Works building, that construction is underway and it continues, and we're not anticipating any issues with that. The water upgrades, we had posted an RFP for repairs on the east side of Main Street. Again, further down on the agenda tonight, there's a recommendation related to that. We've also done a request for qualifications for design services from engineering firms. There's a recommendation on the agenda tonight related to that. And we're awaiting the capital reinvestment plan from the consultant. We have had recent communication with them and have been advised that we can expect the plan on June the 7th. Once we receive that plan, then we will finalize our list of water upgrades underneath the funding that we've received from UBCM. And on the sewer upgrades, we have begun the River Road project that began this week. So the replacement of the sewer main along River Road. Again, the request for qualifications process is further down on the agenda. And we have completed our list of sewer projects and submitted those to the province for their approval. The next project on this under the sewer grant will be the replacement of the sewer along First Street from the top of River Road where the new main is going in over to Main Street and then over to Fraser Street. So that'll be the next project that we will undertake.
Great. Yeah, thank you for that report. We have a recommended motion to receive the report for information. Thank you, Councillor Lightfoot, seconder.
Excuse me.
Councillor McCann, are there any questions or comments regarding this report? Seeing none, all those in favor? Carried. Thank you for that. And once again, I appreciate the simplicity of the of the graphics, of the report. So we'll move right on to the Community Hub Architect, CAO Marquette.
Thank you again, Mayor O'Connor. We have completed our initial assessment of all of the responses that we received to the RFP for the Community Hub Architect. So this was posted on BC Bid from March the 19th until April the 23rd. We received 24 submissions before the deadline. There was one submission that was received late, so it was not evaluated. The initial evaluation was done by myself, the CAO, and our construction advisor, and we had predetermined criteria established to evaluate these proposals. We have gone through and evaluated them all and really narrowed it down to sort of a top kind of 3 to 5 submissions. There was a lot of variation in the submissions received, so we had to really focus on what our predetermined criteria were. The cost estimates for the work were anywhere from 522,000 to 1,799,000, so quite a range in proposed pricing. And so we were intending to make a specific recommendation to council for the selection of one architect, but in wrapping up our discussions and looking at our evaluation, we believe that we would benefit by having a meeting with each of the top three proponents and just clarifying some pieces of the proposals because they're not all prepared exactly the same. We want to make sure that we're evaluating everybody on a fair basis. And we do have questions about particulars in each of the three top proposals. So the recommendation at this time is that that's the next step. And then from there, we'll make once we're sure we understand the proposals, we'll make a specific recommendation.
Great, thank you. So we have the recommended motion in front of us here. Who would like to put that forward? Councillor Toss, second Lightfoot. Any questions or comments regarding this? Councillor Toss?
I appreciate, I know that we're on, trying to push forward, but I think in this situation, it's prudent to wait the extra 2 weeks and get it right. So, thank you.
Great, any other questions? No, all those in favor? And carried. All right, we just move right on to the East of Maine water upgrades contract award.
So this is the project that I referred to in my capital projects update. So this is a large water system upgrade that is required over on the east side of Main Street. We had we'd issued an RFP on BC Bid on April the 14th, closing on May the 1st. We had received 6 responses to this RFP, and of those 6 responses, 3 of them didn't achieve enough score on kind of the basic technical criteria, so we didn't evaluate those ones any further. Then of the remaining 3, we continued through the process, particularly of pricing, and evaluated the remaining 3 proposals based on that. The evaluations were completed by our contract administrator, our municipal engineer, and our senior wastewater operator. So they each scored the proposals based on, again, predetermined criteria. And then for this project, the pricing was looked at that there was significant detail provided to the contractors, and it was determined that there's no reason why they shouldn't be able to price out the job kind of very, to a very specific exact level. So we did award the most points to the lowest price, and then awarded less points to the next price and less points to the higher price. So again, remembering price is just one component of the overall score, but that's how we awarded the price points in this instance. So when all was said and done, all 3 ended up with the same, kind of preferred contractor, and with the combined scores of the 3 people, TwinCon Enterprises was the sort of the top proponent. They've issued a bid of 715,594. And staff at this time is requesting approval to, negotiate the final contract, because there are some little pieces that need to be negotiated around timing of insurance and bonding and things like that. So at this time, we're looking for the approval to finish that contract and get it signed.
Okay, thank you. So we have a recommended 2-part motion here to put forward. Would be Councillor Lightfoot, thank you, and seconder. Councillor McCann. Now, are there any questions for CAO Marquette regarding this?
I'm just a curious
Councillor McCann? Yeah.
where are these guys that are where is the contractor from?
I'd have to look that up, Councillor McCann. I don't know off the top of my head. I can't remember, to be honest. We've looked at many proposals lately from many different firms, but I can look that up very quickly and give you that answer.
Okay. So while you're doing that, if there's no other questions or comments, all those in favor?
Okay.
And carried. Now, the monthly reporting is something we've seen lots before every month, the contribution agreement that we have to, our staff submits to the province regarding the various grants. I'm not sure, CIO Momberket, if you would like to make any comments on this before we put the motion forward.
I mean, this is our standard monthly reporting for the EMCR reimbursement under the recovery grant. As the mayor has said, you've seen it many times before. I'm just looking for approval to submit it for reimbursement.
So it is a two-part motion, and Councillor McCann will put it forward, seconded by Councillor Lightfoot. Any comments, questions? All those in favor?
Yeah.
Carried. Okay, and we're going to move right on then to Public Works, and we have Brian here regarding an update on the Zone 7 backfilling.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. Giving you this report for information on backfilling of Zone 7. In the summer of 2023, the village began backfilling the properties that had been remediated during 2022, early 23. The program was put in place where properties were backfilled by zone with an archaeology work plan created by zone. In most cases, the archaeology assessment for the properties within a zone were similar. Work was completed for zones 1 to 6 before the program was paused in 23-24 winter. During 2024, some progress was made in assessing and completing backfill for a handful of properties. Some of the trickier sites remain to be dealt with, and as a result, Zone 7, several properties on Old Trans Canada, 810 Main, 5571 Main Street remain to be backfilled. And you can see attachment A for that information. 90% of the property owners who still require backfill have been contacted regarding their plans and communicating what they're trying to do. Their property, in some cases, discussions have taken place with geotechnical engineers to ensure that cleanup and backfill of the properties is completed in a safe manner. The backfill program will end as of September 30th, 2025. So there is a focus on getting all this work completed, after September 30th, any backfill or remediation work on properties will be the responsibility of the property owner. The work plan has been submitted to ADW for the backfill of 675, 657, and 1417th Street, which is the property outside the window across from the parish hall. These have been submitted to the technical working group, and we're just working through that process right now. An archaeology work plan has been developed and endorsed by the TWG group for 810 Main, and remediation and backfill for 810 Main is scheduled for the third week of June. Some work had already been started last year to avoid some erosion that was occurring, that was kind of starting to come towards some sanitary sewer lines or water lines that needed to be protected. To support transparency and effective communication, a comprehensive document has been prepared for Mayor and Council as well as property owners. This document outlines the steps as to what is going to happen in the process, defines who is responsible for what steps, see attachment B. Once all parties agree, the property owner will be asked to sign a form acknowledging their responsibilities and that this process will be completed by September of this year. Updates will be given on a monthly basis, the attachment C. And that's about it.
Thank you. So we have a motion to receive this report for information. Councillor Ross and a seconder, Councillor Lightfoot. Now, are there any questions for Brian regarding this report?
Just a little one.
Councillor McCann.
On the map, it says 270 Main Street school site. There's no way that's 270 Main Street.
Yeah, there's,
Is that just
like many properties in town, the addresses kind of might be a little bit off, but you know which site we're talking about.
Yeah.
So just kind of,
so in that one is the school all done?
the school, we're not doing, there is no backfill requirement for the school.
Okay, I wondered about that.
Yeah, there is no backfill requirement for the school already.
Okay, are there any other comments or questions? Other than it's just really good to see this work continuing and seeing it happening. And I just hope you are able to contact all property owners to find out their intention. That when I read the report, I think there was one maybe that you hadn't been able to get hold of.
There's a couple that I haven't been able to get hold of, but, and like Diane said earlier, things are evolving daily.
Sure.
So
Yeah.
hopefully, you know, the monthly process of reporting to council will keep you updated as to what's going on. If something more unique happens, maybe
Sure.
we'll do it bi-weekly.
And I think the village has been very clear with the communication on that September 30th deadline. So thank you for that. Okay, so all those in favor of this report and carried. Good. Wow, that brings us right to
Mayor O'Connor,
yes.
could I just let Councillor McCann know the TwinCon Enterprises is from Penticton?
Thank you.
Okay.
Just wanted to close the loop on that. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you. All right. Correspondence. We'll move right on. We have one piece of correspondence from Troy Abramitis regarding Indigenous Survivors Day. I think everybody had an opportunity to read the information that was submitted to us. And we have a motion to receive this for information. So who would like to put that forward?
We've talked.
Thank you, Councillor Tost, and seconder, Councillor Lightfoot. Is there any comments or questions regarding this? Councillor McCann?
I totally endorse the whole idea and understand our position and whatnot. I hope someone is going to reply to Troy, because I think he put a lot of work into this. But for Lytton, June 30th has kind of this dual thing going on. So to me, it felt like it would be a date with already a lot of stuff happening, that it just would make it more stuff. I don't know.
Yeah. Thank you for that.
I respect the day and the intention of it, and would support it, even if the village isn't going to make any kind of proclamation as such.
Yeah, and I think the letter does ask for a proclamation, and we did pass a motion, I think in January sometime, that we wouldn't be entertaining proclamations. But saying that, yeah, I agree. There's no reason why we can't support this through our Facebook page and newsletters and things like that, getting information out. So, okay. Any other comments regarding this? Okay, all those in favor then? And carried. That takes us right to verbal reports. And I will begin. So on May 15th, I attended a TNRD meeting in Kamloops. And it was a regular TRD meeting, but I just wanted to share, there was a report from the regional library that how many of you know that there's an app for the regional library? So I actually downloaded it the other day, and it's actually really interesting. You can go on and order materials, look up materials, all sorts of things on it. So check it out. The May long weekend, what can I say? Despite the wind, the events in the village were incredibly successful. So many volunteers came together. I want to thank Don Sam, Jeannie Spinks, who took the lead on the organizing committee and coordinated all the volunteers and activities. It was pretty incredible to see everything happening right in the village, including the Canyon Cruise car show. I want to thank past Mayor Jan Polderman and his brother Pete for organizing that event. I'm not one who knows a lot about show and shines or what goes on, how to organize a car event. But they asked me to select one car to win the Mayor's Choice Award. So I selected a car named Iris. You can imagine what color it was. I believe that there's going to be a photo of it in tomorrow's or Thursday's newsletter. So everybody can take a look at that. It was also great to participate with all council here in the parade on Monday and to serve cake to so many right after the parade in recognition of the village of Lytton's 80th year of incorporation. The village was incorporated the same year World War II ended in 1945. May 22nd, last Thursday, I attended Gold Country's AGM and regular meeting. One of the pieces of information shared was regarding the Excellence in Gold Country campaign that showcases businesses in the entire region. Nominations will open in June for this year's, and online voting will take place from mid-July to the end of September, with an awards night in November. More information is going to be coming out about that. There was also a lot of discussion at that meeting about geocaching, and there's still some geocache locations here in the area. Some were removed, of course, because of the fire, but there still are some around. I was curious about Lytton, so I went on to the geocaching website this afternoon. And it's interesting because you can go into the site when you've found a geocache and log your information. And it was quite interesting to see a number of them are active in the Lytton area here. There's one near the cemetery, there's one by the ferry, and there's one at Botany Road, and all of them showed activity. So people are coming to Lytton for geocaching, believe it or not. Yesterday, we held a hub pack meeting. Basically, we provided updates and had discussion on what the village has done regarding the hub design, our RFP process, where we're at with that. We heard about it tonight. And council's request to staff to engage a pool consultant to provide us with options when it comes to building the pool. I think everyone realizes that until we contract the firm to design the hub, the actual work of the committee is pretty minimal, but we are preparing for that. And we recognize that things will ramp up once the process, consultation, et cetera, starts. So that is my report for tonight's council meeting. And I'll move over to Councillor Toss.
Thank you, Mayor O'Connor. Not a lot from the last meeting since May 13th. May Day long weekend I also enjoyed, and we really did get cold. We in the wind there, but the spirit was great the whole weekend. And like Mayor O'Connor, hands up to the organizers and the Canyon Cruise organizers. That was amazing, all those cars. It was fantastic. We had that special budget meeting on the 21st and an emergency preparation program that I think several of council attended, along with me, with Jim McDonald. And I think he introduced the acronym VOLERT, which was the Village of Lytton Emergency Response Team. So we're learning more about that. And I think we have an emergency plan coming public soon. And a coffee with Mayor yesterday. My son was in town, and that's about it. And I think before our next meeting, the Cumchian Secondary School will be having their grad on June 6th. So I'm looking forward to that.
Thank you. Thank you, Councillor McCann.
Thank you, Mayor O'Connor. As well attended very similar events, of course, on the May weekend and at the parade and coffee with the mayor. On the 21st, it was a busy day for me. I had a Fire Smart committee meeting, the special council meeting, and the emergency planning information session the evening. And I think we're kind of intrigued that the people that came and the number who came, and I'm now curious to see where it goes from there, because I have a sense that there was an intention that something should follow that. So we'll see what happens. I went to the PAC meeting last night with Mayor O'Connor. Today I attended the Chief Spentland Park Project Task Force meeting. We're down to the last few bits and pieces of that project, and there will be a planting session when all the plants will go in the ground, probably on June the 19th. And then the actual, so we're going to wait to put the pergola up until after the plants are planted, because they don't want to be disturbing stuff. So it sounds like it's gonna go plants and then pergola, unless it goes pergola, then plants, who knows? And then once everything's in place and the plants have a chance to settle in, so this has taken us closer to July, then there will be a grand opening event. So it's been quite the project. There's lots more still going on behind the scenes with that. I really enjoyed being on the village float. I appreciate the work of the staff in preparing the float for our ride. It was great to have so many people join in and make that a fun thing, even though we were freezing cold. And the Fire Smart Committee is planning a community event on the 18th. I was just checking with Brian. Of June, and that will probably be here at the hall, and it will be along the lines of the Fire Smart home assessment of the parish hall, the rectory, and the church, like just doing a look and having people become more aware of that process. Because the grant that's available for fire smarting your home, like that, up to $5,000, you can only get that money if you have an assessment done on your home. And then the assessment tells you what you need to have done. And then you get the work done, and then you pay for the work done, and then you apply for the support grant. So it's quite the process. So we're trying to get more people aware of the process and how that works so that they can take advantage of that funding for their homes. And that's all she wrote.
Great, thank you. Councillor Michelle.
I don't have anything to report.
Okay. Councillor Lightfoot. You're muted, Councillor Lightfoot.
Not a lot to report either, other than the May Day parade. It was a cold and windy day, but there was a lot of enthusiasm in the community. And as Councillor McCann said, thanks to the staff for helping us get our presentation ready. Thank you.
Great, thank you. All right, we move on to item number 10, which is other business. And we do have the item that we added, a report from CAO Lumbercat. So I'll turn it over to you.
Thanks again, Mayor O'Connor. This report was a late item, so I apologize for that. We were working on this and wanted to get it in for council's consideration. So we have been working on for each of our water and sewer projects, we require an engineer to complete a design of the project before anything else happens. And then from that design, we get an archaeology work plan prepared, and we generally issue an RFP for a contractor to do the work. And so by having those specific detailed designs, we're able to secure contractors who know specifically the work that they're doing, and we're able to get good pricing for that and those types of things. So we had been working on issuing what they call a request for qualifications for engineering firms to provide these design services. And the way the program would work is the Village of Lytton would select 3 firms, and those 3 firms would all have a standing letter of offer. So that would basically be their 2025 hourly rates is what the standing offer would be today. And then from them, when we require engineering design services, we would select one of those 3 pre-qualified firms to provide the design services. So when we asked for the proposals, we requested information about previous experience, the team members that would be assigned to the Village of Lytton, and then some information about the overall firm profile and their pricing and their experience in the water, wastewater kind of realm. And so I included the criteria that was requested in the report just so that you could see that it was quite comprehensive, the information that we received from each one of the proponents. We received 6 responses. They were all very solid responses. They were evaluated by myself, the contract administrator, and the senior water wastewater operator. And then I combined the scores for the 3 of us, and we selected the top 3 firms from those scores. So what we're suggesting is that we would enter into a master standard offer agreement with True Consulting, Associated Engineering Limited, and WSP Canada, and then they would be our three pre-qualified firms. Just one last point to make. In the process, we made it clear that the Village of Lytton, retains the right to go out for a full proposal anytime we want, or to, we might give the work as a right of first refusal to the top ranked firm and then, moved on, or we may decide of the three firms, which one's the best suited for the particular work. So we are retaining quite a bit of flexibility for ourselves in making sure that we have the ability to get the best contractor for our work that we need done. So those are my comments. Thank you.
Thank you. So we have the recommended motion here. It's two parts. Let's put that forward. So thank you, Councillor McCann. Seconder, Councillor Lightfoot, I think. Yeah. Okay. So any comments or questions for CAO Marquette regarding this? Councillor McCann.
So, the reason we want three different organizations is basically to be ready to work when we have a job that needs to be done. It can be a time-saving kind of thing, hopefully. So do they sign some kind of agreement to give us first priority if we reach out to them about a job? Like if they're already, I presume these guys are going to be working. So if they got a contract they're busy doing and we pop in and say, hey, we got this coming up, do we get preference with them, or how does that work?
Well, as part of the submission, we did request that they provide us with evidence that they have the capacity to do our work. Another condition of the request for qualifications was after so many times of us approaching them and them not being able to help us, we're going to drop them off the list and add somebody else back on. So we have kind of put that in there to protect ourselves a little bit. I can say that the proposals all came, and of course, as you would expect, they're all very enthusiastic about working with us. But it does, to your point, it does kind of change sometimes when you go to actually get the work done and all of a sudden everybody's too busy.
So the time saving in this will be, we won't have to go through an RFP process
Every time we need
each
design
time.
services. That's right. It'll be a significant time saving in terms of planning and executing on our water and sewer projects.
Okay, great. Any other comments or questions? Councillor McCann?
I presume the other thing that is the advantage here is that this brings a certain level of qualification that our current staff would not be able to have. That's why we're doing this also, because they got the skills that we don't have.
Yeah, and they have a depth in their team that we don't have. There's multiple engineers involved, and so it's kind of all of the above.
All right.
Thank you.
Seeing no other questions, all those in favor? Carried. Thank you. So that brings us to the end of the regular meeting. We are going to be moving into closed meeting. So I guess we need a motion to move into closed meeting. Councillor Lightfoot, thank you. A seconder. Toss. Thank you. All those in favor? Carried, and I will turn it back over to Corporate Officer Storoshenko.
Thank you, Mayor O'Connor. So that concludes the public portion of the regular council meeting of May 27th. We ask that the public and staff please remove yourself from the meeting as we go into close. Thank you for attending and have a wonderful night. And I invite council to take a short recess while I reset the meeting to closed.